Caleb Brooks with the AHSAA Radio Network. I'm at Oak Mountain High School. I'm joined by some members of the volleyball team here. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, tell you their name, what position they play, and what grade they're in.
Okay, so my name is Tayler Collier. I am a left side hitter and I am a senior.
I'm Josie Ohlson. I'm a middle blocker and I'm also a senior.
And so, for y'all here, like we already talked about, 23-10 record, a really good start to the season. You've played some good competition this year. You just beat Thompson, an area opponent's a big win for y'all. Talking to some of your other teammates, they kind of talked about this team, y'all's chemistry is a lot better. The way that y'all get along is a lot better. And so, from y'all's standpoint, how do y'all feel about that statement? Do y'all agree with it? And then what is it, if y'all do agree with it, that makes this team a little bit different from some of the past teams that y'all have been on?
I absolutely agree. I do think our chemistry is really good. I've played with a lot of these girls for a long time, and so we just had a lot of time to bond together. I don't know, I just always find myself laughing with them, but it also does put us kind of in a harder position to keep things serious and focused. But overall, it really makes practice and games and the whole season worthwhile.
Yeah, following with that, I do agree a lot. Like, our communication and everything is so much better, and I feel like being able to talk to them and being able to listen is what makes us do better, because we interpret what we're saying and we put it into games, and I feel like that's better than any other team I've been on.
They talked about it's a young team, and y'all are seniors on this team, and so you're looked at as leaders just naturally, just from being a senior. And so could y'all kind of feel, as y'all stepped into a senior role this year, that you had to kind of naturally take on that leadership role? And then what are some of the things that y'all have done in order to be the leaders on this team and really try to guide some of these younger kids in the right direction?
Well, I do feel like we definitely stepped into a leadership position. It was kind of difficult at first, too, to feel yourself kind of graduate from being the person that listens, and sometimes it takes effort to just listen to someone else and let someone else be a leader, and then it also takes a little effort to recognize that you're the one that has to, get respect from people and use that to lead them and guide them to make the right decisions.
Well, yeah, it was hard trying to, going from being the younger person, listening to the seniors before you, and then you have to step up and fill their shoes, so you're expected to, make sure everybody's, in line.
Yeah.
And it's hard when you're, with people that you've been playing with for so long. You're like, oh, can't do that, but
and
you figure it out.
Some people that are natural leaders, and some people it takes. So for you, are you a natural leader? Does it take something for you to try to be a leader, to step up and to speak up sometimes?
Not all the time, because usually I say what's on my mind, but I just have to make sure I say it in a way that it's okay for everyone.
Yeah.
So.
What about for you? Are you a natural leader, you feel like, or do you feel like it takes a little bit more for you to step up and to be a voice sometimes?
I think that leadership comes pretty naturally to me, especially when I'm around people that I'm comfortable with. But I also think that I've always kind of let other people be in charge as to not butt heads, because some people just have to be in charge. You know what I'm saying? And so previously on other teams that I've been on, there's always someone that had to be in charge. It was just what they did, and I just kind of put myself into the background. And so feeling myself shift was kind of, it felt different. It was a little difficult, but when I got there, it came pretty naturally to me.
We mentioned the big win over Thompson for you guys, and it's a big area win. Any area win's important, but y'all mentioned how people don't really feel like y'all can play with them or play with Hoover and some of these teams. So to get a win over a team like that, and to kind of raise a lot of people's eyebrows around the state. How big was this for that program, for this team this year and this program this year?
I think it was really big. Especially looking at these, very, very physically talented teams, with big hitters and just really well-known players, mm-hmm. and to look at our team, who was, like we said, a little newer, a little younger, but I think we're a smart team. I think we play smart, I think we adjust well, and I think that has earned us a lot of success.
Yeah, I agree with that. Us being smart makes us be able to get an advantage on teams, because they don't know what to expect from us, because usually we're like, okay, we see something, and then we're like, ooh, we can make a play out of that. So then we share it with with our teammates that are on the court, and then once we make a play off that, we're like, okay, change it. So they never know what they're expecting from us.
Volleyball has a lot of ups and downs in the game itself. There's a lot of momentum swings, a lot of back and forth. I mean, I've seen teams that get up 4-0, the next thing you know, they're down 15-4. And so, as a team, how do you bounce back from stuff? How do you get the younger group to bounce back? Because it's obviously a lot harder for them to probably get over some stuff. So how do y'all kind of encourage them and help them get over stuff quickly in the middle of the games, knowing that you can't really dwell on anything because they're about to serve just like that, right?
Right. I think that in particular is something that makes this team different than any other team I've ever been on, because this team, when we fight, we know how to finish, and I think one thing about getting down is that on a lot of teams I've been on, I hear people like they tell people what to do instead of lead by example. And I think sometimes when we get down, just having that kind of energy and just showing that it's possible to still be like happy, energetic, and willing to fight during times when we're down, I think that really helps bring the whole team up.
Yeah, I think once you get into the momentum of the game, once somebody does mess up, you don't let them dwell on it, basically. So you always have to be right there, it's okay, you have the next one, do not think about it. And then if they make the same thing, if they do the same thing twice, then be okay, make it up with something else. You always have to be positive to make sure that they're not just thinking about the same thing. Then that's just going to make it worse.
Y'all's area, Tuscaloosa County, Hoover, Thompson, and obviously, like we mentioned, you beat Thompson. Talking to y'all feel like Hoover, this could be one of their best teams they've ever had. So, for y'all, where do you really feel like y'all need to get better at? And y'all need to improve in order to beat a Hoover and to beat, Thompson again when the area tournament comes around and in the important games to set yourself up for postseason play.
Right. That is a good question. I feel like we have pretty good energy and a pretty good fight, and we've been able to maintain that for most of the season. I think if we could make our adjustments faster in the game, if we could see it and execute a little better, then I think we'd have more success. I do think that we adjust pretty well as is, but I think that it takes us a little longer than it could potentially.
Yeah, I feel like if we were to speed up our thought process and making the play, then we could always get an advantage on them, and then it'll just help us throughout the game.
Girls, I appreciate y'all taking the time to join me today. Good luck to y'all the rest of the season. I'm looking forward to seeing how this year shapes out, and hopefully we'll see y'all there at the end of the year with a chance to hold up the blue trophy.
Thank you.